Hi there, it's Anne of Rosie Duck Designs here. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. Now, I'm sure it won't have escaped your notice that the new Spring Summer catalogue went live last Thursday. I apologise in advance for some background noise because we've actually got 3 cats roaming around and anything literally could happen. So as I say, it went live last week and I can finally now share the inside of the catalogue with you. So that's exactly what I want to do during this video. So it's not going to be a crafting video, but I will be showing you some cards and projects that have been made using some of the new products. So just to walk through the catalogue, there are 7 new suites to choose from. The first one, I have to say, is a particular favourite of mine. It's featuring lovely lipstick as one of the main colours. And if you follow my Facebook page on a regular basis, you will know that it's a colour that I'm particularly fond of. So this is called the All My Love suite, and it spans from page 4 over to page 5. Now I do have the actual products, or some of the actual products from this page, so let me share those with you. So we've got the stamp set, Forever Lovely stamp set, and that is a photopolymer stamp set, and it's also a 2-step stamp set. In some of the stamps you can either use on their own or you can apply this one with that one and making it a 2-step stamp set. It's not easy to say that, is it really? There's the coordinating edgelit dies that go with this. Now I've got to be honest, I haven't used these or my set personally, although I did get to play with some of them on stage back in November. So let me just share with you the project that we made on the day there. And it's this one. I like this because this is a colour, a background card colour that I wouldn't personally have thought to use, and yet it actually looks really effective. If you can see here, these are the little edgelets that have been cut out, and this is what I mean by the 2-step stamp set, because I've used this one here obviously in the lovely lipstick for the roses, and then this one fits nicely around it to give you all the leaf details. Here we've got a piece of this All My Love ribbon combo pack. This is obviously the lovely lipstick, but there is another version that comes with it in Flirty Flamingo. I've just added these little extra pieces of embellishment there from the annual catalogue, the name of which escapes me for the moment, but again in lovely lipstick, just to give my own twist to the card. And I've used this stamp on its own at the back without the leaf detail, just to give a bit of a background onto the card. So as I say, not my idea, most of this was thought out for me on stage, but it just gives you an idea of what you can do with that. Now I have to say, I've been using this an awful lot in the last few weeks, because as demonstrators we could pre-order from December. So if you pop over to my Facebook page or my Instagram as well, you will see that I've used this set quite a lot, and also in conjunction with some of the other framelits and thinlits from the annual catalogue. So I'll put a link to that at the front of this video, so go and have a look at that, because unfortunately the cards that I've made to using this were actually for people, and I had to let them go before I could do this video. So as I say, have a look at that. And I haven't got this yet, this is on my order that's about to go in, but this is going to be great for anniversary cards, wedding cards. We're coming into that particular time of year when probably weddings are quite popular. So that's that set. Then we move through to this suite here, How Sweet It Is. Now I have to say at this moment I have no samples of that, but there's some really pretty designer series paper and lovely colours, using colours that perhaps certainly I don't use that often. Coastal Cabana, Gorgeous Grape, Melon Mambo. So that suite is definitely going to make me use different colours, as I say, that wouldn't normally be on my radar. So we have that one. I think I've missed one. Yes, Floral Romance. There we go. This is a particular favourite of mine. Excuse the cat fight. You're supposed to be directing this, Ollie, not fighting with your brother. Yes, so this again is on my order that's about to go in. I have to say that there's two ways of doing it as a demonstrator. You either go for it all in December and just get everything that you want. Realistically, I knew that I was never going to have the opportunity or the time to use everything. So personally, I like to go through and pick out certain things that I want in my pre-order, and then I'll come back at the start of the catalogue to get all the other things that I really fancy having a play with. That way it keeps my ideas fresh, and it also gives me the opportunity to share it with yourselves on an ongoing basis. Now, as I say, I love this and I can't wait to get my hands on this. Beautiful colours, again beautiful for weddings, anniversaries, anything really. I've used these little romance seals. I actually bought those to add to the envelopes of the cards that I made to send out with my catalogues to my customers. I've probably got a copy of that in here just to share that with you. There we go. So although that wasn't this sweet, it worked very well just as a little extra embellishment on an envelope. So that's something to bear in mind. You can pretty up any envelope you choose using that. We will come back to that in a moment. So there's some vellum in this is a speciality designer series paper, and it's featuring colours of fresh fig, mossy meadow, pear pizzazz, petal pink, Sahara sand and whisper white. And there's, as I say, some vellum in there as well as some printed paper. So once I've got that, I'll come back on and do another video and share that with you. So we've done that one. Great for children, I think, that one. That's going to be really good if you've got lots of young ones that you like to make cards for. Then we move through to, I've made myself some copious notes here, so I'm hoping it's going to work. Again, this is something that I've really enjoyed using. I bought this in my pre-order, and it's the Happiness Blooms suite. And I've got, there we are, there's the stamp set. Now, my video when I did my cards for my customers, I featured this stamp set. So if you've seen that, you will have been introduced to this already. Love the vibrant colours in this one, and it does feature lovely lipstick, so it's no surprise that I really like that. So I will just share with you a few samples of this one. Now this was the one that we made on stage, so we were given all the components to make it. So very simple, and I use this idea on my catalogue cards of just stamping. It's the Night of Navy, and just using the Night of Navy ink to stamp out. In this case it was the large stamp of the flower, and there's various elements of the designer series paper there, and then again stamped across here Happy Day. That was from another stamp set, because this is a non-sentiment stamp set. I can't quite remember where that came from, but you can literally put anything on this one with this stamp set. So that was the on stage version. This is another one that I've made over the last month. Again, featuring Call Me Clover. Again, one of the 2018-2020 in colours. And again, not something that I've used a lot of, but actually I'm really liking that. I like the colour of that. And so I've used again the designer series paper, and then I've just layered this up with the layering oval framelits. And again, I've used this idea on the background of the card just to stamp out, to give some detail on the background card. And then finally, this was the one that I made on the last video. I think it was my last video, but anyway, a recent video I've used this little card, and this was going to go out with my catalogues that I was sending out. Now, if you would like a copy of a catalogue, then please do use the contact me link on the front of this video, and I'll be happy to put one in the post to you. As you go on to that, it has got a registered option of host a party, I think, but there is a little arrow to the right of that, so just click on that and there's an option of requesting a catalogue. So just do that, fill in the email details and then send that across to me, and we'll take it from there. But as I say, I'm more than happy to put a copy of the catalogue in the post to you. Personally, I know you can always look at it on the online shop, which again I will put a link to, but personally I love to just sit and browse through a paper copy. I don't know if that's something to do with my age or not, I don't know, but you can't beat a paper copy in my opinion. So as I say, let me know if you would like a copy. Now these blue cards that I've been using, these are again from this same suite. There's the Happiness, Blooms, Memories and More cards and envelopes, and you get the two sizes of that. So you get the little one that we've used here, and you get the bigger one that was on this sample. So again, they're great if you're looking for a card in a hurry. Just get yourself a packet of those. So that's £8, and you get 10 of each size, and you get the little envelopes to go with it, which I think that's really pretty. So that's that. There's also, if scrapbooking is your thing, there's a Happiness, Blooms, Memories and More card kit that goes with that. But also with that, you can always use these cards to just put on a card front, and you've got a card very quickly, but a very pretty card. So that's always is worth a thought. So moving on, we've got this next suite, which is called Gingham Gala, and as you can see, this is quite pastely. So if pastels are your thing, we've got Balmy Blue, Daffodil Delight, Grapefruit Grove, Highland Heather, Lemon Lime Twist, which again is one of my favourites, and Whisper White. And it's very, to me, this sort of says summer, spring. I think this is going to be a fun suite to use. Again, this is on my order that's about to go in. There's a punch here, Butterfly Duet Punch, which will coordinate obviously with the stamp set, but it also coordinates with one of the gifts in the Celebration catalogue. So that's going to be really great to play with that. I'll just show you the front of it. It's a set of designer series paper featuring butterflies. Now, it's my intention to do a separate video to talk about Celebration, so I'm not going to say any more than that. But basically the punch will go with this as well as the stamp set. So that's, as I say, that's going to be fun. So moving on, I don't have any samples of that unfortunately at the moment. The next one is Needlepoint Nook. Now this is a really pretty suite. Lots of pretty colours in here, from Balmy Blue, Berry Burst, Blushing Bride, Crush Curry, Flirty Flamingo, Highland Heather, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, Old Olive, Petal Pink, Poppy Parade, Tranquil Tide and Berry Vanilla. So there's a whole spectrum of colour there to get to use, and you've got a set of a needlepoint elements framelit dies to go with that to cut out the different stamps from that. Now I do have a sample of that, which again I got from on stage, so let me share that one with you. And it's this one here. It's got slightly bent in its travels. Excuse me, boys. It's peace and love in this house, not fighting. Excuse me one moment. You've got to be nice to your brother, Marley. There's poor Ollie and poor Timmy have got to go to the vet later on today. They don't know it yet, so our name is going to be Mud by the end of the day, because they're going for their boosters. It's always one of those things that you feel really guilty about doing, but you know you've got to do. But never mind. I'm sure they'll get over it, and I'm sure they'll plot their revenge. Are you going to come back up here? I thought you might. There you go. I'll look after you. You're already looking grumpy, aren't you? That's not really going to boding well, is it? I am cooking you fish for your tea, though. I don't think we want that on camera. I seriously don't think we need that. Right. Okay. I can't really top that, Ollie. I seriously can't. So on here we've used some of the designer series paper, and then this one is one of the framelits. As you see, I don't think it's going to come out on camera, but it doesn't cut out. It just makes all these tiny little holes in the paper or in the card to give you the design. So I'm hoping that's going to come out, because that is really, really pretty. And then you've got these stamps along here, which have, I can get my hand under here. I've used those to add the detail on the background card. And then we've got these little stamps here and here, which have been used to then, I've used this to cut them out and then stick them on the front. And then this is the old olive linen thread. It's actually not too bad a bow for me. I'm quite impressed with that. So again, really, really pretty, sweet, and that will work for all sorts of cards. So again, something on my list, but I seriously can't have it all. That's the problem. So I've got to do or choose certain things that I want, and then I'll have to come back for a second go at the catalogue, I think. Right, moving on. We've got the final suite in the catalogue, which is the classic garage. Now this is, I guess you'd say, perhaps going to appeal more if you're looking to make masculine cards, but I don't want to imply that women don't like cars or motorbikes or whatever, so perhaps I'll just stay quiet about that. It's a lovely suite. I think personally I've got to see a few more ideas at it or using it to be totally convinced that I want it, but then my husband's probably going to be really relieved that there's actually something in this catalogue that I'm not rushing to get. But I will show you a sample from on stage, and you can see here we have got some Garage Gears thinlit dies, and they have been used to cut this out. And then we've got one of the pieces of designer series paper on the back, and then we've got that stamp I've used to put on the front of the little box. I love this ribbon, actually, the black and silver ribbon. I think that is really gorgeous. And I'm sure as time goes on, that's the great thing, you get to see what other demonstrators are how they're using certain things. And sometimes there's something in a catalogue and you go, oh no, that really isn't for me. And then by sort of 2 months into it, you're like, I've got to have it. But at the moment, that's probably at the back of my list. So, as I say, my husband can breathe a sigh of relief about that. So we've covered all the sweets. What I forgot to do, so standard behaviour for me, just wanted to share some of the designer series paper that I do actually have at the moment. And that's from the All My Love suite, so we're going right back to the beginning. I'll just share with you the papers. Now, as usual, 12 by 12, double-sided. Love the colours in this. I struggled to keep 6 pieces intact, I have to be honest. So it's brilliant. I've done this video, I can now go and chop these up. So these are the back, the other side of them. You can see how that's picking up the heart theme of the other set that's part of the suite. It's a nice neutral background. And again, that one will work to put something a bit more detailed on top of that. So that's the All My Love designer series paper. And this is the Happiness Blooms. This one. There's lots of different designs on this one. And great colours. Something quite retro about this design. I'm trying to think of the decade it reminds me of. Perhaps 70s, possibly, some of it. That one in particular reminds me of a tea set that as a young person I always thought I'd want. Actually, in reality, when I grew up and actually needed a tea set, I didn't really want that, but still love the paper. Love that design. Particularly love the vibrance of this paper, this side of the paper, and also that one. That's absolutely stunning. Love that. So that's that. So what else do I want to talk about? There are some kits in the catalogue. There's an all-inclusive one on page 20. So that's the Made to Bloom all-inclusive card kit. So you've got everything in there. All you need to do is add some adhesive. And you've got everything within that kit to make those cards up. So again, as I've said before, time and time again, I love a card kit in the background because you always get caught out and you need a card in a hurry and you don't always have the time or the inspiration to come up with one. So that is a really pretty card kit to include in your supplies. There's a project kit on the other side, which is called the Incredible Like You project kit, and you've got the basics there, but you will also need the Incredible Like You stamp set, which I do have here. So that's that one. You'll need that to complete these cards. You'll also need a lovely lipstick and a Coastal Cabana stamping pad, and they are recommending a liquid glue for that. So that's that one. Again, that is a stamp set which is great on its own anyway. And there's on page 32, I think the notes are kind of working, aren't they? It's got this cute crew punch box, and it's obviously involves a punch, and you've got a little stamp set, and you've got some watercolour pencils there, and an acrylic block even, and a little stamping spot stamp pad there. So again, if that's an idea that you like of making labels and things, or you could even use them as embellishments on top of cards, that's good. It also, I looked at that and thought that would make a great gift for a crafting friend, because you've got a lovely little box to put all the, it comes with all the equipment in it, so it actually makes really quite a pretty gift. So that was that. I want to mention the new cling stamps. So we've gone from the red rubber stamps that we had a bit of trouble getting them stuck to the block, and I always said use some lip salve, and I have to say that that's worked for me perfectly. But Stampin' Up have brought out these new cling stamps, and whilst I said I wouldn't talk about celebration, I will just show you this set, because this is the new stamps. I've got actually to bring a block in, so that doesn't really help, does it? You just freeze it a moment. Thank you. So normally if it was a red rubber stamp, I'd now be reaching for the lip salve. This is the new cling stamp. One big block. Sure we're going to get him on as well. Stick him up there. Right, just to give you an idea. There we go. It's like one of those tricks where you hold the glass over your head, isn't it? So yeah, they really do work. The only thing I've now been hearing is that where they didn't stick, now they stick too well, particularly with the little ones. Some people have been struggling to get them off their block. However, it seems that the best way to deal with that is to use the stamp and then get it straight off your block. Now I've used this stamp set, I've used the very smallest one on a card, and it came off perfectly, but I didn't let it stay on there. Normally I will just keep stamping and then I'll clear up at the end. Word of advice, use the stamp, clear it off and take it off your block straight away. Other people have also been saying if it's a really small stamp, just put a little bit of washi tape on it so you've just got something to grab hold of. But I have to say, I've taken somebody's advice who said that don't leave it on the block too long, and I've got to say for me that's working. So I'm sure it's one of those things, we're all a bit wary of change, aren't we? I'm sure we're going to get used to them, and they are going to be really a lot better because they're not going to fall off. So as I say, I'm not going to say any more about that stamp set until I do my celebration video. The other thing, we've got the usual ideas of you can make it. So let me just share one of those with you, because this is droning on a little bit. So you can make it. There's actually 4 of these. You've got the Hey Love treat toppers on page 8, birthday statement cards on page 19, flowering desert cards on page 29, and this flowering fountain card on page 41. Now basically you've got this number here and it's £72.25. Now when you quote that number on your order, you will get everything that's listed below. So there's no discount on this, but it's just, if you're looking at this, you're starting out, you just want to buy some products that you can use to make up some cards, this is a good way forward, because it's giving you everything that you need there without you having to sit there and type in all the different item numbers on your order. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. As usual, there are the bundles, so keep a lookout for that. 10% off when you buy stamp set or punches that and framelits that coordinate together. Now not all of them, but some of them. So if you look out for, let's go back to my favourite, Forever Lovely. If you buy the edgelets and the stamp set, you get 10% off. Make sure you quote that number that's in this box. So I've got lots of other things to mention. I'm a little bit concerned this is going on a bit too long. Let me just share with you think a couple more things. I know none of us have got the time to sit and listen to endless videos going on about catalogues and things. Right, 9 Lives, page 32. Of course I had to buy this, it's got cats on it. And it coordinates with the cat punch that we've had since last, the year before last annual, that's not annual, autumn winter catalogue. So again, if you follow me on a regular basis, you'll know I've been stamping cats out for the past 12 months. But to actually have the punch that works with the stamp set is absolutely brilliant. So let me just show you a card that I've made with that. There we go. Now I have to say, 2-step stamp set. So you start with, basically that's your basic cat, and then you've got the stamps that you can then add this tabby version or the patch version onto it. Have to say the Stamparatus was absolutely brilliant when using this stamp set. So, and there's the little detail inside, again using some of the stamps from the set. So of course I love this, I can't stop using it. And I have to say I love dogs as well. We don't have a dog, but I do love dogs, so I was equally pleased to see this one, Happy Tails. So we've got, actually, sorry, to recap, there's your 9 Lives stamp set. The hearts and the bows and that, they'd work on other cards as well, of course. Right, so the happy tails, there's the dog, and again you've got the option there of adding the spots, so it's a bit like a Dalmatian, or just the 3 spots to make it more of a patch dog. I'm sure there's a proper term for it, but I don't know what it is. And there's the coordinating punch that goes with that. Again, 2-step stamps when it comes to the dog and the kennel. So let me show you a couple of cards that I've made with that. Couldn't resist that. 101 Dalmatians just sprung to mind. And the little heart just adds that extra embellishment, which is really good. And then the little paw print in the middle. And I love the fact that in here you've got sentiments like this: so sorry for your loss, your best friend leaves a paw print on your heart. When you've got animals, they are part of your family, so sadly when that time comes, it is a very difficult time, and I just think it's really nice if you've got that and you can send that to somebody who's perhaps suffering at that particular time. So obviously the idea is to make happy, cheerful cards, but it's nice to have that option. And obviously you could use that with the cat one as well, or you can mix and match. The True Love has 4 paws would work with the dog, if you follow my drift. Right, that's the other one. So here I've used the patch stamp to give a bit of colour to the dog. You could obviously just punch out, or stamp out rather, the plain dog and then colour that whatever colour you like, so golden Labrador or whatever. Bit of poetic license, because I know it's probably not a Labrador, but you get the drift. And there's the kennel there, which again 2 steps. Stamparatus was great for that as well. This is I've done with some bronze embossing powder, so I've used the paws. And I have to say this wasn't planned, but it worked quite well. The truth is that I got confused and stuck that there instead of sticking it here, which is where it was meant to go. But I was like, oh, how can I sort that one out? So I did that, and I actually think that's quite good. So it's very true that often mistakes make you come up with something that's actually better than what you planned in the first place. I've got one final card to share with you. I've made that and that's using this stamp set here, Amazing Life. And I've used my Stamparatus to do this because I didn't want the candle on it, I just wanted a cake. So I've stamped that, and then I've just removed this with a baby wipe and then stamped that down. So again, lots of good sentiments on there that you can use. I've used this quite a bit already, love that. So again, have a look at my Facebook page because there's lots of different ideas on there. One other thing I've got here is the Strong and Beautiful stamp set, which again is obviously sentiments to do with women and mothers, but there's also sentiments in here that would be great for anybody that you want to sort of send a card to, such as "You are loved completely," "You have what it takes to be unstoppable," and "I couldn't be more proud." So aimed at women, I'm guessing, but there are sentiments in there that work for anybody. So that is that. I think I will leave it at that. I'll just share that one with you. I like this one. Fable Friends on page 30. I'm looking at this and thinking that would make a great baby card. And obviously I like this because it's got ducks on it. So it's a given really, isn't it? And kind of a bit Trix Potter, Peter Rabbit, dare I say. But yeah, I love that. I think that's going to be a fun one to play with, and lots of opportunity to colour in as well. So I am going to leave it at that because I think I've waffled on long enough. I've got some other stamps that I particularly like, so I probably talk about them just at the start of the Celebration brochure. But there's quite a bit to talk about with the Celebration brochure, so please do come back and join me then. If you've enjoyed the video, please do give me a thumbs up, and you can always subscribe to my channel. All that means is that you will get notified when I upload a video, and you get to choose whether or not you fancy having a look at it. So until then, I'll be back very soon to talk about a celebration. So until then, thanks once again for joining me, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.